He has been trying to reach all of you in the worst way.
Yeah,
And
I can feel that. I can feel that.
don't say another word. Don't say another word. I'm going to tell you. I don't want you to say anything to me because he's telling me everything right now. First of all, there's a soul that's coming through. Okay, there's this young man that's stepping forward that had passed.
Yeah.
And he's showing me that there was questions over his passing. He talks about having addictions before his departure.
My son.
Okay. And your dad also passed?
Yes, many, many years ago. My father.
Doesn't matter how many years, those souls are still with you. And your dad is here, pulling through that son to speak. He came to the front of the line and kept saying to me, I have to reach my family. I have to reach my family. So who are you here with?
My sister, and
I'm his friend.
this is Reed's friend, who my son, and his girlfriend, Jordan.
So you're all here for him. No wonder why he's here. And is this your first time attending?
Yes.
I got to tell you, he was, and this is why I tell you guys, when you're in a group experience like this, the souls rush to the front of the line, right, to who needs to speak. And he was coming through saying to me, I didn't mean to die this way. I didn't mean to die this way. And he has been trying to reach all of you in the worst way.
Yeah,
And
I can feel that. I can feel that, Matt.
don't say another word. Don't say another word. I'm going to tell you, I don't want you to say anything to me because he's telling me everything right now. And I actually have to come to you as his friend because first of all, he wants to thank you so much for being here this afternoon. He tells me that even though you were his friend, he tells me the two of you were like brothers here in this world. And he also says to me that he does not want you to feel responsible for the way that he died, because he tells me that you go through survivor's guilt every single day because you were watching over him just like a brother would. Do you understand that? And he also tells me that you warned him. You warned him about some of the things that he was doing. And he also tells me that he knows that you ratted him out to his mother now.
The jig was already up.
Well, he tells me in the afterlife, he goes, Matt, I didn't know how my mother knew so much. And he tells me that you and his mom had like the secret connection where you would tell him if you were worried about him or what would happen with him. And he said to me, Matt, this was my team. Who you're seeing on screen, this was my team. These were the people that were there for me. And he says to me that he wants to thank you all because every time that he fell down, every time that he had an issue here in this world, you all lifted him back up. And he actually says to me, Matt, this was not just a one-time thing. This was an ongoing struggle. He says, I had an ongoing struggle with addiction from before I could even remember, he tells me.
I can feel that.
He tells me when I'm connecting, I see him using and stopping, using and stopping, using and stopping.
Yes.
And what's so sad is that the day that he died, he says to me, Matt, I did not know what I was taking. So when I'm connecting, I felt like he was taking fentanyl when he passed.
You're right.
He just showed me fentanyl when I'm connecting. And I'm going to tell you something. He's telling me this. He says, Matt, I played it safe. I played it safe, he tells me. He thought he knew what he was doing. Unfortunately, he didn't. He says to me that he wants to apologize for the way that you found him here in this world because he talks about his body being discovered. Is that true? So you were the one to find him?
Yes.
I got to tell you, sometimes souls can hear what you're thinking or what you're feeling. And he tells me that you keep saying, oh my God, oh my God. I feel like if I was just there a little bit earlier, maybe I could have saved him.
He went to take a shower and then he was taking a long time and then I busted open the door and found him.
So that's what I'm talking about. That's where the survivor's guilt comes in. He tells me this. He says, Matt, please let him know that I am sorry for what he saw that day because that's been haunting you every single day because he was your responsibility or so you felt. But he says to me, Matt, can we talk real right now? He goes to me, can we talk real? He says, I got to tell you right now, you need to let them know I was not a baby. I was not a little kid, he says. I made my own decisions. I had my own life. He goes, yes, they didn't agree with what I did. He goes, they didn't agree with what I was doing. They didn't like who I was dating because he tells me he always got involved with the wrong people. Okay, I know, he tells me. He goes, but these were my decisions. He goes, and I made them with a clear head. He says, but Matt, I lived my life on edge and I always push things to the limit, he tells me. That was my problem. He goes, if I had a car, I had to drive fast. That's how I was. He says, if I was going, he says, and going to school, he goes, I would skip out on classes. He goes, I lived life my own way.
Yes.
And it's
my Reed thought he was Superman.
He tells me when I'm connecting, I have to come to you as his friend because he tells me that the two of you were like yin and yang. Like you were always towing the line and doing the right thing. And he was always the one that was like getting himself into trouble. Yeah. He says to me, Matt, if there's one thing that I want for him, He says is I want him to continue living life like I'm still there and with him. So no, and by the way, he's talking about, so he knew your girlfriend here, correct? Because he tells me about the fact of you two been going together a long time.
Yes.
And he says to me, Matt, he goes, I died and I thought they'd be married by now. He goes, I don't want to go and I don't want to say something I'm not supposed to say, but I have to tell you everything he's telling me. He goes, Matt, he goes, tell them to just get married. He goes, they've been together for so freaking long. He goes, what are we waiting for? He goes, they always loved one another. He tells me there was a time when the two of you broke up for a little bit or like spent some time apart. He says, they know that they want to be with one another. Tell them to stop fighting and just freaking get married, he tells me. Because he's bringing that through. And he says to me this, you know, losing him was the hardest thing that you went through here in this world, and especially you as his mother. But I have to tell you, he wants to let you know on the other side that you gave him every chance to live, to recover, and to live his best life. And that's what you need to know.
Thank you,
So
Matt.
don't thank me, thank your son, because he wants to make one thing clear. You can go back and you can question anything you want. And he tells me that you go back and the both of you are questioning and questioning and questioning and questioning and questioning. How could I have saved him on this day? What could I have done differently? He says, if it wasn't this day, Matt, it would have been another day. What they did is they warned me again and again and again. He says, and I should have known better. And know that by him stepping forward, it's his way of letting you know in spirit that he wants you all to live and enjoy life. Know that I'm okay. Know that I'm with you and I am at peace. And by the way, he keeps telling me about you thinking about a tattoo. He's talking about the tattoo.
My other friend got one for him.
His other friend, Landon, got a tattoo, and it had Reed's football number on it, where all the guys were together. They all had different numbers, but Reed's number was 56.
So know it's his way of letting you know in spirit. He knows about that tattoo. And he knows about the way that he was honored here in this world. It's his way of telling you that he is with you. This is his way of acknowledging that his soul's with you every day, and not to think of him as dead because he's just different.
I walk through the house and talk to him all the time. And Reed, you better be here on the 4th.
Well, listen, this is his way of validating that to you. I'm so happy I get to deliver this message to you from the other side.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I'm going to leave you with that.